we say that if we had women in leadership position in Nigeria, corruption will be minimized, because women are people who uphold integrity. We are menders, we don't destroy.
Women should ensure that they also do the right thing in the presence of their children, because doing the right thing in the presence of your children makes your children know that, oh, what my mom is doing is the right thing.
Every year on 8 March, the world celebrates International Women's Day, a global occasion to honor women's social, economic, cultural, and political achievements. This day also serves as a rallying call for accelerating gender equality through the collective efforts of governments, non-governmental organizations, academic institutions, and women's groups. The theme for this year's celebration is Accelerate Action. In line with this, Transparency Files dedicates this special edition to Accelerate Action, Women as Agents of Change in the Fight Against Corruption. Welcome to Transparency Files, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Murna Barnabas Atiahi. Happy International Women's Day. In this special edition, we will highlight the critical role women play in the fight against corruption and feature inspiring women making significant strides towards a more inclusive and gender equal society. But first, let's join Ruth Awodi for updates on anti-corruption stories. It's over to you.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Awodi. ICPC has arraigned Takat Williams Sabo, an officer of the Ministry of Labour and Employment, over allegations of job racketeering. Sabo was brought before Justice S.M. Mayana of the Federal Capital Territory High Court 43 in Apo, Abuja. He faces a 2-count charge for allegedly defrauding a job seeker of 800,000 naira under the pretense of securing employment in the Federal Civil Service Commission. According to ICPC counsel Agbili Ezenwa Kingsley, Sabo fraudulently obtained the money from his victim, John Daniel, by falsely promising him a government job. When the charges were read, Sabo pleaded not guilty. His defense counsel, O.I. Anene, filed a bail application, arguing that his client was willing to attend his trial. ICPC counsel did not oppose the application, but requested strict conditions to ensure the defendant's court attendance. Justice Mayana granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira, requiring 2 sureties who must reside within the court's jurisdiction and provide affidavits proving a legitimate source of livelihood. The case was adjourned for commencement of trial. In another development, ICPC has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening its partnership with the media as a strategic ally in the fight against corruption. The chairman of ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu SAN, emphasized this commitment during a breakfast meeting with editors hosted by the Commission in Lagos State. He highlighted the critical role of the media in amplifying anti-corruption efforts and holding public institutions accountable. He reiterated ICPC's resolve to ensure transparency, protect whistleblowers, and provide verified information through official channels such as press releases, newsletters, and digital platforms.
Your support for the ICPC in delivering its constitutional mandates, including its robust activities and initiatives in fighting corrupt practices and other related offences in Nigeria, is really commendable, because you have been really helpful and enlightening Nigerians about the problem of corruption. And I'm personally filled with gratitude that the media has continued positively boost the ICPC's anti-corruption public communication efforts. Your investigative reports, analysis, and overall dedication to truth have helped in exposing corrupt practices. Because there are a lot of stories that we published which help us in our investigation.
A A significant development Dr. Liu noted is the corruption prevention program for local governments aimed at ensuring financial transparency at the grassroots level.
Now, recently, we are aware of the decision of the Supreme Court about the local government autonomy. So, we have looked at the decision, and also we are having various engagement with civil society to see how can we give our quota, how can we control our quota in ensuring that the local government autonomy operates the way it's supposed to. And also, how can we follow what are happening in the local government councils. And we are trying to bring up what we call the corruption prevention program for local governments, whereby we will monitor activities at all the 774 local governments in this country. So we will now try to see how can we use technology to force the local government council to make information available to Nigerians so that Nigerians can follow what they are doing. You, also the editors and other media stakeholders, can be able to follow what are they doing so that we will monitor if there are issues, questions can be asked.
Mr. Eze Anaba, president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, commended Dr. Liu for his efforts in tackling corruption. He emphasized the need for a collective approach to combating corruption and pledged the media's support in working with ICPC to achieve lasting reforms.
Mr. Chairman, the biggest thing you have done is to come here to show transparency. You said corruption thrives when there is silence. I also say this, I'll add to that corruption thrives when there is darkness, when it's hidden. So you're coming out here suggests that you really want to fight corruption in partnership with my colleagues. And it's a brilliant thing you have done. I know you met some of my colleagues in Abuja, and that's why the Secretary of the Guild and the Deputy President of the Guild are here. You have to continue, because if you want to work with the media, honestly, the way you have shown, the media will work with you, and Nigeria will be better for it.
That will be all on this segment. Happy International Women's Day. Transparency Files continues with Murna. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Transparency Files. According to the United Nations, women constitute roughly half of the world's population. However, research shows that corruption disproportionately affects women, especially in developing countries. Despite this, women's participation in the fight against corruption remains low due to barriers such as limited political participation, socio-cultural norms, gender-based violence, and discriminatory practices. With this year's theme, Accelerate Action, the Transparency Files crew spoke to Jen Onwumere, head of the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms, TUGA, and Azuka Ogugwa, head of Reforms, ICPC, to explore why women's participation is crucial and how their involvement in the fight against corruption can be accelerated.
I think it's quite important to state that for us at TUGA, this year's International Women's Day is a very important one. That's because of the important milestone that we've reached currently. And so for us, this day is critical because there are issues, a few issues to celebrate, but quite a number of concerns that we need to look into. That's because even though it's 30 years and a few strides have been made, the issues of inequality, that women and girls suffer still linger. Some of the concerns are issues like violence against women, issues on education, poverty, how it affects women. For us in Nigeria, again, the current issues of armed conflict is very critical because it really affects women a lot. I know that it affects both men and women, but I mean, when you look at the IDP camps and the statistics that you see, it really, really affects women and girls. So for us, this year being the 30th year, and looking at the theme, which is accelerating action, it is critical for us, and these issues still need to be brought to the fore. And so it is very, very, very important for women to be engaged in the fight against corruption. That's also because in terms of delivery of service, corruption is what hinders the ability of the government to deliver the service that is required. Corruption generally affects development. Till today, we are unable to meet the full implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. And to a large extent, corruption has a critical role to play in this. And that is why women need to be engaged in this fight.
Women have a lot of roles to play as mothers, as sisters, as wives, as nurturers. Women are affected by corruption because when it comes to healthcare, our bodies are different. So we need to make sure that there is access to healthcare, especially for young girls who are in their transformative years and mothers who are at their childbearing age. So women should actually make sure that they train up their children to shun corruption. Let's start from the home. And then in the home, when you put those values, when you teach those values, you should enforce it by your own character. But in the larger society, in the office space, like where we are, is the responsibility of women to see that things go the way it should go. Because by and large, women are the victims of corruption. And it affects us very badly, especially, like I mentioned, with respect to healthcare and with respect to education. Children upbringing, children education.
With the remarkable work of women's groups worldwide, increased representation of women in boardrooms, legislative rights, and visible female role models, women are proving to be pivotal agents of change in the fight against corruption. Our team also spoke with Irene Awuna, a civil rights activist advocating for gender, peace building, and good governance. She sheds light on how women's groups can mobilize women to take action against corruption. Let's take a listen.
We are advocating for more women in leadership position, and corruption is one thing that we hinder on anytime we are having our advocacy messaging. We say that if we had women in leadership position in Nigeria, corruption would be minimized because women are people who uphold integrity. We are menders, we don't destroy. The political parties are so we say they are so unrealistic with their policies. Their policies says that almost all the political parties have in their constitution that they will have 25% or 35% of women in their leadership. However, they only give the woman leader a woman and every other position they take. But do you know that they always give the treasurer to a woman? Why? Because they believe that women are very prudent when it comes to resources, and they can be trusted. And so we use that as a campaign, telling ourselves that we must and we always have to stand by the side of anti-corruption, speaking up against it, ensuring that we are women of integrity, so that we can be trusted to be given the opportunity in leadership positions. And then for our women who are already in leadership positions, when we have the opportunity to pay them advocacy visits, we always encourage them to be steadfast and do the right thing, because whatever you do in that position will either mar or make the opportunities of more women to come into that space. So for us, speaking against corruption is what we do on daily basis, because it's one of the golden rules that we have been using to advocate for more women in leadership.
Thank you for staying tuned to Transparency Files. It is widely suggested that women are less likely to engage in corrupt practices, and countries or organizations with greater female representation in leadership positions tend to perform better in terms of accountability and transparency. To gauge public opinion, we sampled the views of Nigerians through a vox pop on the role of women in the fight against corruption.
For me, I think the role the woman plays in the fight corruption should start from the home. The home meaning her own children. When she's able to teach them the importance of honesty, transparency, and values of this life, values of this life. It will help these children as they grow to dislike corruption in all its ramifications.
We talk about taking roles in leadership, in the government, for a good governance, because we women, we can stand up to speak up for ourselves, and leading by example from your home. As a mother, when you have children, is what you build into your children from their infants that they take out. So as a mother and as a woman, you have to lead by example. As you lead by example, your children will see what you are doing and they will act according to what you are doing, to speak up for themselves, to know what is right and what is wrong.
In fighting corruption, women should ensure that they instill values in the lives or in the upbringing of their children, because most of the issue of corruption that we have now in the society has to do with the youth. Not that they don't have good home training, some of them are well trained, but because of the peer group they mix up with. So mothers should ensure that they train their children. They shouldn't say, okay, because my child is up to 15 years, 16 years, I want to relax, I want to, I don't want to put an eye on my child. Your child will always be your child, even if he gets to 50 years. You have to keep on advising him. You have to keep on training your child. Secondly is that mothers or women should ensure that they also do the right thing in the presence of their children, because doing the right thing in the presence of your children makes your children know that, oh, what my mom is doing is the right thing. When they go out and they see that other people are doing the other way around, because whatever they see is what they will emulate right from home, because training a child starts from home even before the child goes to school.
Before wrapping up today's edition, let's bring you update on activities in ICPC state offices.
Reports from Borno State reveal that the resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Linus Gabi, led a delegation to pay a courtesy visit to the Emir of Fika and chairman of Yobe State Council of Traditional Rulers, Dr. Muhammad Ibn Abaki Muhammad Idris, to seek collaboration in the areas of curbing corruption. He emphasized the crucial role of traditional institutions in driving behavioral change. The Emir, who is a renowned security expert, assured ICPC of his full support in fulfilling its constitutional mandate to create a corruption-free society. Coming from Sokoto State, the resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Shintema Binga, represented by Mr. Abdullahi Ibrahim Aliu, has sensitized students of the College of Nursing Sciences, Sokoto, on the importance of ethics and integrity in the nursing profession. He, Aliu, highlighted the critical role of nurses in maintaining high ethical standards, stressing that integrity is essential in fostering trust between healthcare providers and patients. He further noted that corruption in the health sector, such as professional misconduct and unethical practices, undermines service delivery and puts lives at risk. Similarly, from Ondo State, Mr. Jemmy Ganiu Owolabi of the Public Enlightenment and Education Department has sensitized the officials of the National Film and Video Censors Board, Akure, on the overview of ICPC initiatives. He provided the personnel with comprehensive insights into the Commission's multifaceted anti-corruption frameworks. The head of Center, National Film and Video Censors Board, Akure, Mr. Abdul Wahab Shaibu, underscored the critical role of the regulatory bodies in mainstreaming integrity within Nigeria's creative industries. And from Adamawa State, the resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Ulu Okoro, has inaugurated and inducted the members of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit of Modibo Adama University Teaching Hospital in Yola. He revealed that Act 2 was an initiative of the Commission and approved by the federal government to serve as an in-house check mechanism for corruption prevention within ministries, departments, and agencies. The Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Professor Adamu G. Bakari, in his welcome speech, thanked the ICPC for its support and promised that the management will give the needed support to enable Act 2 achieve its mandate.
Greater participation of women in public life can lead to the design of gender-sensitive approaches to anti-corruption, empowering women to resist, report, and seek redress for corruption when it occurs. Indeed, one of the most powerful ways to accelerate action for gender equality is to support the fight against corruption. That's our package for this week. Watch Transparency Files every Friday at 6:30 p.m. on the NTA network service of NTA and NTA International. Follow us on our social media platforms displayed on your screen. Happy International Women's Day. I am Murna Barnabas Atiari.